Greetings, my beautiful lovelies. It's Emmy. How are you? It's great to see you and welcome back. Today, I'm going to be attempting to make homemade Sprite soda using pine needles from my backyard. Now, many of you got in touch with me via social media. Make sure you follow me because I love hearing from you because I get great suggestions like this one. Many of you want me to make this, and when I saw it, I said, this sounds absolutely wonderful. So we're just going to use 3 ingredients: pine needles, water, and sugar. Now the recipe I'm going to be adapting comes from Ms. She and Mr. He on TikToks. Also, Alexis Nicole, the Black Forager, also talks about making this as well. It is a really, really simple thing to make fermented fizzy drinks. And if it tastes like Sprite, does it taste like Sprite? Will it taste like Sprite? Now that my taste buds are coming back post-COVID, I am so grateful. If you didn't see those videos where I couldn't taste and smell, I will put those links down below. Now, Alexa says you can use different kinds of conifers, pines, hemlock, fir, but today I'm going to be using white pine. And also, if you are pregnant, it is not recommended that you consume pine needles or anything made with them. And regardless, make sure you identify your plants properly before ingesting them or making things with them, right? So let me show you how to identify the white pine. It is pretty fascinating. These needles are separated into bundles. Now, each bundle has a certain number of needles, and that's one of the ways to identify the tree. Isn't that fascinating? For white pine, there are 5 needles, so it's very, very simple to identify. So break off one of the bundles and simply count the number of needles, and there should be 5. Once you've done that, you'll know that this is a white pine. So what makes the bubbles in the drink? Well, the naturally occurring yeast that lives right on these needles is what's going to consume the sugar that we're going to add and create CO2, carbon dioxide gas, and make our drink fizzy. It's going to have sugar in it, so it'll be a little bit sweet. And also the pine needles are going to give it a nice kind of resinous flavor to the drink, making it a bit like soda. Now, this is not the first time I've made homemade fizzy drinks before. A long time ago, before I had YouTube and any of this stuff, I made my own ginger brew, ginger bug, both with naturally occurring yeast that's on the outside of the ginger, and also with store-bought yeast to make sure I got the fizziness. I picked up this book a while back. It's called Fizz, The Beginner's Guide to Making Natural Non-Alcoholic Fermented Drinks, and I love the illustrations in this, and it has all kinds of things to make, including ginger brews and kombuchas and tepache. So great. So I thought I'd share that with you just in case you want to learn more about naturally fermenting drinks. So what we're going to need is a clean stopper jar, filtered water, and I think filtered water is important because we've removed the chlorine, which is in tap water here stateside, and that may interfere with our yeast because we want our yeast to grow. Also, sugar. I can smell the pine. I'm so happy, it smells so good. This is a funnel that I picked up actually from Daiso, and I like it because it smooshes down nice and flat, so it stores in my drawer, and then when I need it, I just pop it out. It is a little bit flimsy, but I did get this at Daiso for $1.75. If you missed the Daiso videos, my Japanese dollar store shopping sprees, I'll put links down below to those videos as well. You should also click that bell for notifications. I never say that, but I should. So, best practices, YouTuber. Okay, back to this. And this is regular granulated sugar, 4 tablespoons. This is a 2 tablespoon measuring spoon. This whole set is kind of strange measuring amounts, like 1.5 tablespoons, 2 teaspoons, but 2 tablespoons. But I use this quite a bit. Thanks, Christina, for giving it to me. Now for the fun part. We're going to fill our jar with pine needles. And it has been raining here. And I'm not even going to bother to wash my pine needles because, again, we're going to get the naturally occurring yeast from the needles, right on the needles, and it's been raining nonstop for a couple of days. So we're going to use nature's water and nature's sink, and we're going to fill up our jar. See that? It's like a little terrarium. I believe you can do this with your leftover Christmas tree as well. Make soda with your tree that is no longer serving its Christmas purpose. And then we're just going to top this with water. And if it's cold where you are, like it is here in New England, then put it in a windowsill for 3 days. If it is warm, do not put it in direct sun, just leave it at room temperature. And again, for 3 days, we're going to let this sit, and the yeast will have an opportunity to eat the sugar and create bubbles. And then we'll come back and give our homemade pine Sprite a taste. All right, my lovelies, I will see you in 3 days. Alrighty, my lovelies, I am back. It has been 3 days since I placed the combination of sugar, pine needles, and water into this bottle. I also made a second batch because after I bottled this one, I thought, how in the world am I going to get these pine needles out? This seems like a much more practical solution to the whole pine needle thing, getting them out, because it's actually wide enough to stick my hand and take the needles out. This one I'm not really sure. I'm probably going to have to use some long tweezers or something to pull out these needles, but certainly this is a beautiful presentation. I happen to have a Meyer lemon. They have such a beautiful scent to them, and now I can smell again. It smells wonderful. A Meyer lemon smells a little bit different than, say, a Eureka lemon. It has more of a tangerine-like smell, in my opinion, and it's because it's been crossbred. So it has a brighter color, a little bit sweeter flavor. Brighter color meaning a little bit more saturated, and the pith I've noticed is much thinner. They're juicier and they're not as sour. Love them. I always try to get Meyer lemons if I see them in the supermarket. So I'm going to cut a couple of slices here. I'm going to add 2 of those to my glass. Alrighty, let's go ahead and see if we've got any CO2 bubbles in this and give our pine needle soda or homemade Sprite a taste. Okay. Oh, please be there, bubbles. Come on, come on. I didn't hear much. Did you? No. It certainly didn't do that overflowing bubbly thing that it did in Mrs. She and Mr. He's video. Oh, it smells lovely though. But let's see if we got any fizzy sounds with this attempt. That definitely had some funk to it. Now this was sitting in the window, and here in New England, it has been pretty chilly. It's probably been about in the upper 30s. So perhaps that had a difference. That made a difference in terms of the fermenting process. The yeast were a little bit happier in a warmer temperature rather than being in the window. Doesn't smell quite like Sprite. It smells a lot better. It smells like Meyer lemon and pine combined together. Alrighty, let's give that a taste. Cheers. First off, it doesn't taste like Sprite. It's Sprite-ish because it's just ever so tiny little bit fizzy. I think because it's been so cold, I could have let this sit for another 3 days, which I think I will. And once I start seeing bubbles, then I would give this a taste. But I just wanted to follow the recipe as instructed and taste this after 3 days. But in my experience of fermenting, this needed to go longer. The taste is lovely though. The pine flavor is there. Not nearly as strong as I thought it was going to be. In fact, I smell and taste the lemon more, maybe because that's right on the very, very top. The level of sweetness is quite nice. I thought it would be a little bit too syrupy, but as you know, if you've had soda, soda is very, very, very sweet. This is a little less sweet than soda, which like blows my mind. That means there's a ton of sugar in soda, which I already knew, but I also really, really love Coke. Don't drink it a lot, but I love it. And that amount of sugar is really essential to it. But very nice. Let's try this version. Alrighty, cheers. Yes, little bit of bubblage, a little bit of fizzy. This too could have gone longer, but that pine flavor is lovely. Does it taste like Sprite? Not exactly, because Sprite tastes like artificial lemon lime flavor. Very distinctive and very sweet and very signature kind of Sprite combination. Having said that, This is akin to it. It's delightful, so easy to make, and it's delightful and easy to make. So perhaps that might be reason enough for you to try it too. But this is so beautifully perfumed, I think is a great way to describe it. And the lemon, I think, is really essential. And it is a perfect combination, perfect foil to go with the pine needles, this little bit of citrus. It's really nice. But I would say ferment it longer so you get more bubblage. Alrighty lovelies, I had these sitting on the windowsill here for another week. So I just opened this because there was not much liquid in here. So I just opened it out of curiosity and it was totally carbonated and it shot up and there were pine needles everywhere. I didn't get it on camera. This one shows all indications of being carbonated as well. There are little tiny bubbles in here. The lid here is very tight and taut and firm. So let's listen and see if we get a fizz. Oh my gosh. Yes. Look, did you see that? That release? Focus camera. Oh yes. We do have carbonation. Excellent. That is natural bubbleation. That is so awesome. That has totally worked. Cheers. And indeed, it's fizzy. Little bubbles, naturally carbonated from the yeast that was wildly occurring and just living on those pine needles. So stinking cool. So there you have it. That's how you can make homemade Sprite out of pine needles, some water and sugar, and a slice of lemon. Pretty stinking fantastic. Really easy and pretty magical. Alright, my lovelies, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that one. I hope you learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media. I love hearing from you, love hearing your suggestions. Like this video, subscribe, ring that bell, and I shall see you in the next video. Toodaloo, take care, bye!